Done a video in a long time, kind of because of, well, I don't know, life I guess. Kind of got out of programming is one of the things I do, get in and get out of programming. But at the moment I'm in programming, so I'm making a video. Kind of give up my last project because basically I just forgot everything I coded. And I started again with Swift. Written my own Tilemap renderer, simply because, well, I was using tiled. I wrote a parser in Swift for tiled because I couldn't find one. I know there's a Sprite kit one, but I wanted it to be pure Swift this game, simply because I'm learning it. I didn't want to use any Objective-C, or as little as possible. I know I still have to use the Apple libraries, Foundation library, but other than that, I decided to write my own because tiled, the way I was making the game, like the editor just didn't really help anyway. Couldn't do what I wanted it to do, so I kind of written my own one. Or well, in the middle of writing my own one, should I say. Sorry, I should have had a drink before I started. Anyway, a lot to get through. I'll show you what I've got in a moment. Can't really remember. So yeah, I'm basically just loading a random isometric map in. You can zoom, you can pan, it's got random objects placed about. Yeah, right, so that's that. A few things I want to touch on was, it's a bit slow in the simulator, and obviously I wanted to save some memory on the actual device as well, so I wrote, the camera code actually has bounds, so if I just get rid of that, let's create a variable bounds. Let's just say I want it there, 200, 200, that'll do. Just to show you the bounds, to show you what I mean. Basically what I've done is everything outside the bounds gets hidden, like the tiles get hidden, so it's not drawing everything. So if I wanted to make the map view smaller in the game, I could do that without any worries, rather than just overlaying images on top. I'm still going to have to overlay images on top, but everything behind the images, the map's not going to be there. So let's just call this rect. Sorry, I've already made that. SK shape node rect. We'll just use the same as the bounds. We'll set the Z position so that's in front of the map. Some random number. Add child rect. Now that's set to bounds there. Quickly show you. So basically this is, no, let's create a tiny map this time. This is the bounds, the camera. As you can see, as things get scrolled off, that seems to be a bit off. But you can see the bottom is working. So you can imagine if I had UI elements around here, so you could only see what's within the square. You wouldn't actually see any of this being hidden here, but you'd only see what's in the thing. As you can see, some tiles are loaded fully as well. Some tiles are hidden, like this tile here, you can't see the base, and that's because the tiles in front hide everything anyway. So the tile in front of that one, I won't be able to scroll that far, but the tile, you can see the edges here, so it's actually got the whole tile loaded in. But these do just count as one tile. So yeah, if I go back to just showing you like a blank map, if I get rid of that, I'll just show you what it looks like without the objects. So this is just a flat map, like that. Another thing I like, because I've written this myself as well, to make it simple, is, sorry, I've got to open the array first. I can literally do anything I want with the tile map, rather than using someone else's library. I know. Hold on a minute. I've done it. Yeah. Rather than using someone else's tilemap library, I can write whatever functionality I need. I know I could just extend someone else's, but while I'm at it, I might as well do my own. and I wanted the game to have an in-game map editor anyway, so people could make their own maps and let their friends play them or let anyone play them. I'm not going to go too much into detail about the game because it's still very much all in my head, and I'm just getting the foundations for the game written. So what am I doing here? I'm just going to grab a tile at the position that someone's touched, or clicked in this case. So the position is obviously going to be, call it touch. I don't know why I've called it touch, that's because I've been speaking. Call it location. So if there is a tile where I've touched, I'm going to grab that tile, and if I wanted to set the Z position, so I've got to come up with a different name. But when I say Z here, I mean the height of the actual tile, not the Z position, how it's getting drawn. So I'll show you what I mean. So now when I click a tile, I should be able to raise it up. So if I click that, I can raise it out of the ground. So it's got a maximum set on it. You can see down there the node count. This one's, all these will be hidden, but as soon as I click it, you'll see here, it will load the other two sprites. Bang, 2 sprites added, 2. So it's actually, as these Z properties get changed, actually the tiles inform the tile map. Hang up, I've changed. I'll skip to that for now. Yeah, I've changed my Z position. Have a look, see if I still need to be hidden or not. Let's just go back to the view.map so we get the full screen. Another cool thing I can do is with the objects, like which you probably saw some of them loaded, trees and the flowers and that. I can do create an object like so. Tile, go to the object library, random tile object. Now the tile type, don't want to go into too much detail because it'll take a long time. But there's 3 different tile. Should probably. Oops, what am I doing here? Add tile object. Yeah, there's 3 different types of the map. I'll show you. There's grass, dirt, and water. So even though these are different colour grass, they're still just counted as grass. So I'm going to click that. See flowers. Obviously, so you can, there's animations as well for all the tiles. These were animated, but I actually got rid of them. I changed how I was doing it. So yeah. So on the water, you can only place lily pads. On the dirt, you can only place trees. On the grass, you can place trees or flowers. This is random at the moment. So that's that. The way, well, if you're interested, I'll actually make a tutorial of how to make your own tile map thing. I know it's easy if you just use someone else's. You could use a JS tile map for Sprite Kit. Use the bridging headers, which obviously uses tile as well if you're going for that. But I could do a tutorial on how to write something like this yourself. And obviously this is isometric, but if I didn't want it to be isometric, I could easily change that. I wonder if I could do that now really quickly. Let's see, instead of setting this position here, I know the tiles are still going to look isometric, but tile.position. This is going to be column times, say, I know the tile size width is 32, row times, I know the height is 16. Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing this in the middle of a video where I'm trying to show you something, but yeah, you can kind of see, obviously, this is meant to, this is basically programmed just for isometric, but if you did want to make your basic 2D looking one top-down view, or orthogonal, you could. Yeah, I might do a tutorial for that if anyone's interested of how I wrote all this. Basically my own tile set data I've written here, so like I said, the tile types, dirt, water, grass. Different types can have different sprites, because I want it to be kind of, I didn't want to just have loads of different grass tiles, I wanted to handle one grass tile. which had different tops. So I've got grass, grass 1, 2, 3. So grass just has this different variations on the top. So if I wanted to actually set that, I could go tile.set sprite texture names. And I know I've got grass 1, 2, 3, and then I have to designate the top because the tile has 3 separate sprites. As in, they have bases, which is this is like the base for the animation frames for the water base. That's your basic base. They have segments or ground, which I call it now, which are these bits, and then they have the top, which is dirt, grass, different shades of grass. So every tile is actually made up of 3 different sprites. So when I set this sprite, I have to tell it the name of it and then what texture type. Now, if this is grass 2 and it's on top, which means if I go to my tiles with data, it knows it's already going to know it's grass. It's going to go top, look for it in here. If it's not in here, it won't set it. So if I click on dirt and do that, it's not going to set it. And I'll show you now. You see, I'll be able to change all the grass tiles to, oh, that's already grass 2. Okay, that's a bug. Let's just quickly sort that out. So set sprite. So when I'm setting a sprite, I want the object. So we'll just do down here. After all that, if tile, what have I called it here? Sorry, tile object. Yeah, I've put if tile. Do that. Hopefully that fixes it. Yeah. So now it's always going to be placed in front. And obviously I am sorting all the Z positions from here all the way down to here, so everything behind always gets sorted. And that's sorted every time something changes on the map. So not necessarily moving the map, but every time something's elevated, this is really sorted again. It's actually really fast. So, I don't know, what was I originally going to show you? Oh yeah, I've set that to grass. So if I click on here, that don't change grass to, but this changing the colour, if you see, of the grass. If I did want the dirt to say look like grass, then I could just go here and then just go grass 2. Now suddenly the top part of the dirt can either be dirt or grass 2, so now I can change that to grass 2. Obviously, I haven't got much time to go into more detail about this, but if you do want me to go into more detail, just let me know in the comments or something. Tile objects, again, animations are all stored here, so different frames. If I wanted the flowers, if I just wanted to add a frame, so I just wanted to add something random, like water, if I wanted water in that flower animation, if I just quickly get a flower going, it's animated, and then it's going to add that water, so it looks weird because it's obviously offset, but that's really versatile the way I program this. Let's see if I wanted the flower speed. Also I wanted the water, because the water's a bit fast to be fair. Where's the animation for the water? If I wanted that to slow down a bit, I could change that to like 1 second. And you can see it changes really slowly now. Everything's here just for testing at the moment. The pause is actually used for after the animation. So you know, say if I have a tree, a little owl pokes its eyes out, I might have it pause for about 5 seconds before it does it again, instead of just keep coming up the tree or something like that. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up, because this video's going on, but that's pretty much what I've got at the moment. Nothing too game related. Don't need any more. Let's get this back. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, well done. I know I've got a boring fucking voice, but oh well. Yeah, like I say, thanks for watching. Bye.